Autoline Daily is brought to you by Bridgestone, passion for excellence.
This is Autoline Daily for Friday, June 18th, 2010, and now the news. In an astonishing development, for the first time since it ever started publishing its initial quality survey nearly a quarter of a century ago, J.D. Power announced that American automakers beat out all other brands in the quality of their vehicles. The Ford brand did especially well, beating out all but some of the top luxury brands, and Toyota did particularly poorly, tumbling to 21st on the list. All of Chrysler's brands made modest improvements, but GM's brands slipped. The initial quality survey measures quality after the first 90 days of ownership, and you can follow the link in today's script to get the full list of how all automakers performed. In related news, GM announced it will not hold its traditional summer shutdown, where it forced everyone in the company to go on vacation for the first 2 weeks in July. GM sees the car market in the U.S. recovering, and it wants to keep its assembly plants to keep on making vehicles with no summer shutdown. So how does that relate to the previous story on quality? One of the key reasons why automakers like the summer shutdown is they do not have to hire temporary workers to keep those lines running. Temps just are not as good as the people who work those jobs day in and day out, and so quality goes down. Now GM plans to hire temps to keep the lines humming this summer, and let's just hope they train them very well. Yesterday we showed you the new 2011 Range Rover. We reported it'll get 30 miles to the gallon thanks to a new turbo diesel that will be offered, but Land Rover's U.S. Public Relations Office contacted Autoline Daily to point out the diesel will not be available in the American market, but it will be available in just about every other market in the world. Speaking of fuel economy, or at least fuel, last week we reported that Canadian researchers were studying how to make fuel from algae, and now Toyota and other Japanese companies and institutions are joining in. According to Bloomberg, an analyst in Japan says there's going to be what he calls a tug of war between industrial nations to find new ways to develop fuel from algae. There are already 75 developers globally studying algae-based fuel. In addition to studying algae for fuel, the Japanese team wants to see if it can help produce food and cosmetics. Earlier this week, I got a chance to test drive the new Honda CR-Z Hybrid. We'll have more coverage on the car in the days to come, but here's my initial impression. Honda is going out on a limb here. The CR-Z is a hybrid that does not get spectacular fuel economy, so it may not appeal to hybrid enthusiasts. But it's also aimed at performance enthusiasts, even though it only has a power-to-weight ratio of 21.6 pounds per horsepower, so it's not very quick. Look for fuel economy in the mid to high 30s or in the 6 to 7 liters per 100 kilometers range. The price in the American market will be in the low $20,000 range, unless you want a nav system, which is going to bump the price up to $28,000, and that's just a little over 22,000 euros. Honda knows it is taking a risk here. It's only projecting that sales will hit 15,000 units in the first year in the American market. The CR-Z is already on sale in other global markets where it has not exactly set the world on fire. But the company's internal targets are to boost sales in the U.S. to nearly 50,000 units a year by the year 2015. Chrysler is introducing the industry's first smartphone vehicle information application. Debuting on the new 2011 Jeep Grand Cherokee, the app, which is a free download, is much more than a mobile owner's manual. It includes video demonstrations of features in the vehicle, access to customer assistance, 24-hour roadside assistance, maintenance schedules, and much more. The app will first be available for the iPhone and later will be available on BlackBerry and Android phones. The app, which is designed for the U.S. market, will be available in other Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, and Ram vehicles by the end of the year. And speaking of the new Jeep Grand Cherokee, it's the first new product Chrysler's coming out with since the Fiat takeover. So what makes this version of the Grand Cherokee worth noting? We'll show you right after this.
Introducing Bridgestone's third generation of run-flat tires with groundbreaking new Bridgestone technologies. Bridgestone run-flat tires offer improved ride comfort, lower rolling resistance, and improved wear while giving you the peace of mind and comfort you need.
Michael Manley is the CEO of the Jeep brand, and he's also my guest on Autoline Detroit this week. In the following clip, he talks about the attributes that Jeep believes are going to bring a lot of new customers into their showrooms.
Well, I think one of the things that we were able to do with this, as I said, was to create that great package. So when we were thinking about the new Grand Cherokee back in the early days of its design, we knew that what we had to do was really respond to some of those changing consumer trends that we saw in the marketplace. We had to keep the capability, and we've done that with 3 great four-wheel drive systems. We've got the new Quadra lift, which means that you get that road clearance you need if you're going to take it off-road. But it also drops down, and now what we've got is a very, very sophisticated on-road performance as well. And that's also facilitated by Select Terrain, which is all new for Jeep this year. So from capability and on-road dynamics, I think we've got the right package.
You can watch that entire interview with Michael Manley at our website, AutolineDetroit.tv. And by the way, Scott Burgess of the Detroit News and Bob Gritzinger of Auto Week are also on my journalist panel for that program. And that is it for today's top news in the global automotive industry. Have a great weekend. We'll see you on Monday.